Hey guys, John here from Bring the SEO. Today I want to talk about how you can go about increasing your rates, especially, and this one is, I decided to shoot this video for those of you who are providing SEO services who are stuck in the vicious cycle of struggle. What's the vicious cycle of struggle? It's where you're going around and around and around, bouncing in between low-end clients where you're charging $600 a month, $800 a month. You're doing everything on your own and you're feeling exhausted and overwhelmed. To demonstrate my point, before I share with you a strategy as to how you can get out of this cycle, let's jump onto my computer real quick and I'll take you through a short example or demonstration rather of what the vicious cycle looks like, and then we'll go from there. It usually begins up the top here where you go about attracting a less than ideal client. Now, what's in a less than ideal client? Well, these are people who are typically want to make, pay the least amount of money, but they'll make the most amount of noise. And these are the clients who come to you with very small budgets, who have really low budgets and high expectations. And working with those types of clients is usually always a struggle. But because we're in this situation and maybe we need the money, we'll go about, saying yes to a client that we really should turn away. So you drop the price to get the job, you get the job, great. But then you realize, wait a minute, we've got insufficient budget here to actually do anything useful, which means you can't get results. And I've been there myself, and I've worked with many other SEO consultants over the years that are in this same situation, caught up in the vicious cycle of struggle. And they're all down here charging maybe $600 a month or $800 a month, and they're working, 80 hours a week, and they're caught up in fulfillment. And this is the really painful part of this. When you're working with low-end clients with small budgets, you've got to do everything yourself because you don't have the money to hire. And then, of course, because you can't get the results, the client gets twitchy, they become impatient. Hey, look, we've been at this now for 6 months, we're not seeing results. The campaign ends badly. It ends badly for everyone, and let's face it, that's not fun. And then, of course, the client cancels, and if you don't, if you're experiencing lead scarcity, you don't know where your next client's coming from, you end up back where you started, low on cash, you're getting desperate for leads, and that takes you back, like I said, to exactly where you started. And then, of course, you go around and round and round, and you become caught in what's commonly known as the vicious cycle of struggle. Okay, so obviously that's not a fun place to be. What can we do to get out of this cycle? Now, there's a couple of things to be mindful of here that I want to just point out quickly before I share with you a solution as to how you can escape this cycle. The first thing that I will say that if you're thinking about increasing your rates, make sure that you're wanting to increase your rates for the right reasons. Okay? There's a lot of business coaches around at the moment that give that sort of advice, and I think it's quite, in some ways, I think it's quite reckless. Just double your rates. Okay, well, doubling your rates is all well and good. At least giving someone advice, that sort of advice is easy, but it's not going to mean much if the service doesn't match it, right? You can't just provide a shitty service and say, okay, I'm going to charge $6,000 a month. So that should be the first thing. Your service needs to be of quality. Now, if you know that you're providing a high quality service to clients and they're getting results, then yes, you should be well within your rights to start charging more, especially if you're down at like $300, $500, $800 a month. Now, the next point that I want to point out, and this is coming from personal experience, and I've also seen this working with other SEO consultants, is that this is really a confidence thing. At least it was for me. Having the confidence to charge $2,000 or $3,000 or even $5,000 a month for me was very difficult. I eventually pushed through, and the easiest way to push through and build that confidence is to simply charge that amount and get a yes. And you really only need one person to say yes at a higher price point to give you that confidence that you've maybe been lacking in order to continue charging that amount. But in order to wrap this up, for those of you who are stuck in the vicious cycle of struggle, two things. One, you're just going to have to throw a big number out in order to get yourself out of this cycle. Like I said, you only need one person to say yes at $2,500 a month, and you'll look back and go, wow, I've been charging $500 a month for the last 5 years. Someone just said yes to $2,500, and that was no harder to get that over the line as it has been for the past, several years charging $500 or pitching $500. So that's my first point. Just throw a big number out and see what happens. The next thing that I'll say is this. Don't just start throwing out big numbers if the quality of service isn't there and the clients aren't getting results. I talk at length about the importance of revenue-focused SEO. The client should be able to clearly see that they're getting a positive return on investment and they're not just looking at a squiggly report, a confusing report full of squiggly lines each month. They can actually see, okay, this month our marketing, for a cost for SEO was $6,000, but hey, we made $130,000 back. They'll be happy to pay. They'll be glad to pay that each and every month. Now, I'm going to give you a pricing strategy for those of you who may not yet be quite established. This is not aimed at those of you who are running, $10 million agencies. This is for the freelancers and those who are soloists and independent contractors, maybe working from home, or you have a small team and you're caught in this vicious cycle of struggle. Use this. Next time you pitch, use this as your pricing strategy and just see what happens. Next time you pitch it like this: $165 an hour for a minimum of 15 hours per month or $2,500 a month, and see what happens, right? Try it. This is a pricing structure that I used for many years before I eventually shifted over to value-based pricing. But that works, and that should help you ultimately get out of the vicious cycle of struggle. Hope you found this useful. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share your thoughts below. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Hey, if you've enjoyed this video and you'd like to learn more, head over to bringtheseo.com. We provide business development training for SEO consultants wanting to improve their processes, increase profits, and scale to $100,000 a month or more without all the stress and overwhelm.